Hello everyone and welcome back to the Regular Size Man podcast. My name is Sam and today I'm joined with Jacob once again. There's nothing new about that. But Jacob, I'm going to start with a question today. So this week, the first ever Area 51 raid happened.
Yes.
It happened over the weekend.
It did.
And we're on a quest to have one question answered. Mm-hmm. And this is going to change your life forever.
Okay.
You have walked into Area 51. You've ran your way through.
Yes. Yeah.
And you've found 4 things in front of you, but you only have enough strength or size in your backpack to carry one of these out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. One of these 5 items.
I was going to say 4 or 5, mate.
5, sorry. Okay, so Loki's Scepter, Baby Groot in a pot plant, the Stormbreaker, the Venom Symbiote, and Yondu's headpiece with the magical arrow. Which do you take and why?
So I'll tell you what, dude. It's a really tough question. Like, at first I was like, probably Groot. But I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go with Stormbreaker.
Yes, my follow-up question to this is, can you fully utilize Stormbreaker?
That's what I'm thinking. I think so. I think the assumption is that you can lift him and you can generate electricity through it. That's why I'd take it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd probably go with the symbiote. But
see,
Stormbreaker. What about you?
Stormbreaker? Well, see, this is my thing because I feel like what's going to be useful to me in everyday life. Like, I look at the symbiote, and I'm like, I can't control that if I have it. Essentially, I can't really control it.
That's true.
And so I'll be.
But you'd be a god.
I'd be a god. Nobody could touch me.
It'd be pretty cool.
But I'm thinking about the scepter. I'd practically be.
I would not go with the scepter ever.
Why?
It's the most boring one.
But I can just.
But it's so boring.
No, but I have a reason.
Plus, you have to. Okay.
I could just stab you, like, or touch you with the scepter, and like subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I get
that's true.
And I just walk around the city just stabbing people,
and
then I get 1 million subscribers in a day. But take over YouTube, and I would have to happily retire at the age of 25.
But if you also have Yondu's headpiece with the arrow, you'd get heaps of views on that.
Yeah, but people wouldn't like me because they think I'm dangerous. Yeah, and the government comes, takes me over. See, with Loki's scepter, I can do it just like secretly.
That's fair. Okay, I can understand that.
But my final answer is going to be Venom Symbiote. Because nobody can stop me. The government can't stop me if I have a symbiote.
Oh, no way. Good. No way.
I could just fucking Venom.
You wouldn't die.
Pretty much.
At all.
I'd become Samuel Stark.
There's no wrong answer in this. Unless you pick the scepter, then you're incredibly wrong.
Well, mine's justified. But otherwise...
I still think wrong.
Okay, anyway. Venom Symbiote's my answer.
All right. I'm down.
Cool.
I'm down. Yeah.
All right. We'll roll on the intro music 3 minutes in.
Yeah, look, it's coming. It's there. It doesn't matter when it comes.
But it's
as long as it gets there.
Fantastic. So, week 18. Wowee.
We are trucking along very nicely.
We are. Like, we've been doing this since about March-ish. Like, the end of March, I think it is.
No. May.
May?
Yeah.
Was it May?
Because Endgame came out April.
Oh, yeah, it was after Endgame.
And it was, Yeah, it was May. It was May.
Yeah, I can actually check this
18
right
weeks ago.
I can actually check this. I'm going to check it whilst, like, we're talking.
Official fact-checking.
21st of May was our first episode.
See, there you go. Actually, we had the practice one the week before that we didn't release.
Yeah, but that's okay. We're coming up on our... A few days ago, 2 days ago was our June, July, August 4-month anniversary.
Oh, that's sweet.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
So how are you? What's been going on this week? Any exciting news?
I've been playing a lot of Madden.
Really?
I love Madden.
So the purchase was definitely worth it.
100% it was. I'm really making the most. I have to. It's $100. I have to make the most out of it. And then I also bought. I bought a new pair of shoes.
You did.
I had
They're very
nice. I had a bit of retail
nice.
therapy yesterday.
Sorry?
I had a bit of retail therapy yesterday.
That's all right. It's needed sometimes. Not $200 t-shirts worth, but...
No, not that much.
$90 pair of shoes is...
It was a good pair of shoes as well. I thought it was quite
purchase.
a steal.
Very adequate purchase, I reckon.
Yeah, and it was a bit of an emotional weekend. The Tigers made the grand final, so I'm very, very, very happy.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I honestly do not blame you.
No, Friday night was a good night for me.
No, that's good.
And
that
even better, we're playing the Giants. So
yeah, dude, that game on Saturday night. I'm sorry if you're not from Australia, but that game on Saturday, my heart was beating.
The Giants and the Magpies game was genuinely crazy.
It was one of the best games we've seen in a while.
100%.
But
what about you?
What's been going on?
Yeah.
Been binging The Office a little too much.
Good, glad to hear.
Literally, my day today is I woke up, I streamed, and I sat on the couch, and I watched The Office all day. And then you came.
It's all right.
So, I mean...
It's a good day.
To me, it's a good day.
That's a good day.
But I felt like I've done nothing. I don't know. Recently, I've been considering just building on all of my collections, movie-wise. I want to start collecting comic books. I don't even read them.
You've got to pick one...
I know.
One
See,
thing
I've got
to build
games. I have a good game collection going.
You do have a good game
But
collection.
like, it's kind of like hit the point where I'm like, I've got a good collection now. And besides new games, I don't need to buy anymore. So I'm thinking about starting movies. But then, because we also had this Infinity Saga trailer drop, which we'll talk about later, because we got something exciting going on.
Yep.
But my family's in Bali this week, and so I've been alone. So I've had thinking time about this. So like, I have literally got the house to myself for the entire week, and I'm not bored. I've got things to do. I've had people come in, going.
That's good. That's good.
So I'm not alone. I've got you here.
Yeah.
We're gonna cuddle tonight.
We are.
Brownlow, so it's good. But the Call of Duty beta, I've been playing it. It's over now. So I think
I did hear about that. Yeah.
So for the next month, I don't really have any games to play. So that's okay.
It's a good period of time to figure out what you're gonna play.
That's
Bit
true.
of a season's change as well.
Yep.
Spring's on the horizon.
Yeah. I felt bad for the dog. I haven't been walking him because I'm scared of getting swooped by magpies again.
Oh yeah, this is a dangerous area as well.
It's very bad.
This is where I used to walk to school, and it was dangerous mornings.
Yeah, I used to get. I have been swooped once before.
Yep.
And so I can't take the dog out of fear. I was trying to get up early this morning to go take him, but it's hard.
Genuinely fearful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like, you have to get up at least before 6 o'clock if you want to catch them when they're asleep.
Yeah, but even then, it's a dangerous game you play.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not looking to be attacked anytime soon. I like my safety, and
I like my head intact without scars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So sorry, Anzac. Blame the birds. But that's that. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. That's my rant over. This is like my little therapy session for the week. I just talk about my feelings.
It's a good 5 minutes right before we get to the news.
And then we kind of talk about the news.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a brand new symbiote next week.
To go along with everything, yeah.
I did travel to Nevada over the week. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, we should get into this. So
yeah, let's go.
So we skipping the trailer talk?
I think we're skipping the trailer talk because we're keeping that one.
Should we tease it?
Yeah, all right, let's tease it.
All right, so over the weekend, the Infinity Saga trailer came out from Marvel. Marvel released it, which is like a complete box set of all MCU films, which is like, they've been teasing this for ages, but they just released the trailer over the weekend for no reason.
It was very random, yeah.
It was very random that they just released the whole trailer, but they've had no details about it. So there's no release date. There's no, like, anything on it. They just said, here's the trailer for the Infinity Saga. It's coming eventually.
Yeah.
And I was reading about it, and basically they were saying that it's essentially something that fans should be waiting for. I think it was one Marvel representative. I don't know if it was Kev or someone else, but they were
I don't know who it was either.
Yeah, I forgot who it was, but they were saying like, people who are going to buy this Infinity Saga box set are going to be true fans. So we're going to want to do something very special. That's essentially how the quote went. So it's probably going to cost $500.
I reckon they're going to include some big stuff.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to buy the whole thing.
I'm probably going to buy the whole thing.
I'll spend $500.
I will.
Do not give a damn. I will.
I think there'll be good perks to it, if I'm completely honest with you. I think it'll come in maybe a gauntlet thing, and it's a gauntlet carry case.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
But
something like that.
I don't know. They might have little action figures, or maybe some Disney Plus,
just something I would love.
Something I don't know.
Oh,
some months of Disney Plus or something.
That'd entice me.
Maybe a exclusive meet and greet with Big Kev.
I'd like a meet and greet with Big Kev.
I'd love to meet Kev.
Just to have a bit of
Big
a chat
Kev,
with him.
if you ever want to do a meet and greet down in Melbourne, Australia,
please hit us up. We can organise it. You can stay at my house. I've got a spare room.
I have the whole house for myself this week.
Or that.
Just come stay home.
It's all yours. It's all yours.
Fantastic. All right. So yes. So later in this episode, we're going to be doing. We're going to be ranking the entire Infinity Saga. We comprise the list of every MCU film in order. It's going to be 23 to 1.
Yeah, it's going to be controversial.
We have got some controversial calls in there.
Yeah.
But really excited. But we're going to save that to the end because we're clickbaity. We want you to listen to the whole thing.
For sure we are.
So we're going to get into the rumor mill, which is our weekly segment where we quickly discuss a few rumors that have been not very popular in the news. They've just kind of floated around and we've seen them a couple times. And so what we do is we just quickly talk about them in no more than 90 seconds, I would say, for each point. And yeah, we quickly give our thoughts. So I will go first.
For sure.
Alrighty, so welcome to the room mill. Fantastic. So, if you had to pick one comic book character to don the mask from Jim Carrey's The Mask movie, who would you pick and why?
This is definitely a tough one. We asked this amongst ourselves during the week, and I think I went with Star-Lord then. I'm definitely going to change my mind this time. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to stick with Star-Lord. I'm going to stick with Star-Lord because he's very much still a kid. In an adult's body, so I think the stuff that he'd do would be really funny. Like you kind of see that in the end of Guardians 2 when he becomes Pac-Man to defeat his dad. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to go with Star-Lord for that one.
I like that. Yeah. I like it. I'll quickly throw in. I would kind of like Peter Parker or like Tom Holland Spider-Man. Yeah. I feel like that'd be funny as well.
That'd be very funny.
Or like a mix of them.
100%. It'd be very funny.
Yep. All right. I'm happy with that. Or Drax because he's invisible. Anyway, moving on.
All right. Oh, sorry. That's me. I was like, when are you going to start?
You don't
reading?
Get the whole point.
It is me. I forget. All right. In the upcoming Birds of Prey film, Batman will reportedly have been missing for a few years, whilst Leto's Joker will be appearing in the film. However, only as a stand-in, not with Leto himself. Thoughts on these two details for the film?
I don't like this, and the reason is because this is too confusing. Like, is this movie? Like, I know that they're doing the whole Batman revive and it's not really meant to be tying in, but I don't like the fact that they're having so many Batmans and different Batmans and different Jokers, and just like, I just want the whole thing to tie in. I don't know if that's just like, it's a personal like preference, but I like it when everything kind of ties in a certain way.
Yeah, it really does beg the question, when does this movie take place?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm okay with the Batman reportedly missing for a few years because that can tie into Matt Reeves okay.
Yes.
It's more the Joker that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, okay. You don't want to see the Joker in this at all?
No, okay. I don't like Leto's Joker. I won't lie.
Fair enough. Okay.
I mean, we'll judge on October 3rd when...
The movie does come out.
Does come out.
No. Oh, you're talking about Joaquin's Joker?
Yeah, Joaquin.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yep,
like, if that's a really good Joker, I would prefer his Joker to Leto's. And, like, I'd rather see him on the screen than Leto's Joker.
I can understand that for sure.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool will make his MCU debut in Chris Hemsworth Thor Love and Thunder. Is this what you want the Merc with the mouth to... Is this how you want the Merc with the mouth to enter the MCU? Sorry.
You're right. No, not at all. I don't want him to... I want him to be brought in with the X-Men.
I agree.
And I want him to either be in his own solo film or to have a big role in a Mutants film. I don't want him to come in this way. I think it's just going to be rushed. I don't think it'll fit at all. I think, he's just a very special character, and they're going to ruin it by trying to fit him in with a current cast that now exists in the MCU.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with this. I also don't see how he'd fit at all, especially if the movie's apparently taking place in space.
Yeah, it's.
I still want my Deadpool and Wolverine movie. That's all I want.
Yeah, I would love that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, just some kind of Wolverine.
It's a no-go. Sorry, Kev. We're disagreeing with this one. Movie wheel is over. Moving on. So, Marvel. So, to start off our Marvel segment for the week, Ant-Man 3 is reportedly looking likely to not make it to the big screen, as rumors swirl that it may be featured as a Disney Plus series.
I feel like everything's swirling as a Disney Plus series nowadays. It's just, not coming. Disney Plus series, for sure.
It's just kind of like,
I think it's because it's the very real possibility that they actually could be a Disney Plus series.
Yeah. You know what it'd be like? They're in the corporate meetings and they're kind of like, this probably won't crack $1 billion. Just chuck it on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I think that's what it is now. They just go for home runs or nothing.
It's either $750 million or bust.
Yeah. Or no doubts with that at all.
Pretty much. All right. So let's dig into this a bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
So Ant-Man 3, we had Ant-Man and we had Ant-Man and the Wasp, and the way it kind of left off, it left off after Endgame.
It pretty much just set up Endgame.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then kind of teased the fact that there's the whole living in the quantum realm deal.
Yeah.
And that is going to be explored, I think, in some way in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And had there been an Ant-Man 3?
Well, hot topic, like scoop that I've just come up with now. If it was to be a Disney Plus series set in about 5 years from now or 3 years from now, and the way we saw Endgame end with Ant-Man was Ant-Man and Hope were living together with Cassie. Yeah. And she's grown up and she's probably about 16, 17-ish.
Yes.
Or something.
Probably like 15.
15, 16. She's young either way.
Yep.
And it's 3 years from now, so she'll be about 18, 19 years old.
Yep.
So she's quite young still. You've been going on about this Young Avengers thing.
Yeah, I have.
So what if Ant-Man 3 was a series about Hope and Scott training Cassie Lang?
Well, in all honesty, I don't want that because you've got the Hawkeye series training Kate Bishop.
Yes.
And I don't want to see another training thing.
Well, what if Ant-Man 3 is just his Cassie Lang? Would you be okay with that? Or would you prefer to see Paul Rudd, who's 50 years old?
Oh no, I want to see more of Paul Rudd. No doubts. I just want to see Paul Rudd.
Just stare at him.
If I don't see anybody else, I don't care. I just want. No, you know what? I like Michael Douglas as Hank. I really like Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
But I think because there was so much going on in the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie that a lot of people don't realize. There's that. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's like a still taken from the movie of when Hank's ship's going through the quantum realm trying to find Janet, and there's like a still, and it looks like there's a city in the quantum realm. And a lot of people kind of speculated that it was actually how the Fantastic Four get introduced. That maybe they were also stuck in some way, like back in the past in the quantum realm. And they don't age and shit, or they age a bit differently, and then they, bust out. But so like there's a whole avenue of things they could explore.
Yeah.
But that's what I really want. That was actually how I wanted the Fantastic Four to be introduced. I thought that was the most perfect way. That they were friends with Hank when he was a bit younger and working for S.H.I.E.L.D. And then they just somehow got sucked. Can't speak, man.
It's okay.
Sucked
just
in there.
Calm down. Take a deep breath. Talk a bit slower.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're not in a rush.
Deep
breaths.
But I don't know. I think there's so much more you can do with the character, man.
I know. I really like Ant-Man as a character.
I
think
really
he's
do.
just like, he's kind of like, not Hawkeye, probably not a good comparison, but like, he's just a character you could probably tap into so much more than you already have.
I think so.
Maybe like Hulk. I mean, Hulk didn't really get his movies, but he got the one movie, but we don't talk about that one.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's just kind of like a character that you could tap into a lot more, but they just haven't.
Yeah.
But I feel like the time is slowly passing and they can't really do it as much anymore.
Well,
maybe Ant-Man more than Hulk, but you get my, I
definitely get your drift. I feel like there's so many more villains you can do for Ant-Man as well. Like I think because like they're so fun. The movie is just him like changing size, going smaller, going bigger, and then adapting to the environment. I think it's so fun. So like a Disney Plus series, if that's the only way we're going to be able to see Paul Rudd,
yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm cool with that. But I would prefer to see Ant-Man and the Wasp 3.
Yeah, I would like that.
Or Ant-Man and the Wasps, and you've got his daughter Cassie.
Yeah,
too. But anyway,
well. I'm thinking in the first one,
yes, he
goes small.
Yes.
In the second one,
he goes
big. So in the third one, will he be a regular sized man? Sorry, I had to make the joke.
I think he will be a regular sized man. I think you're on the ball with that one.
Thank you. Alrighty. So that's that. Ant-Man 3 apparently might be Disney Plus. We'll watch it. Who cares?
We'll watch it. Disney is just going to be taking our money at that point.
Yeah, I'm paying for that year subscription. I don't give a damn.
I'm paying for like 5 years.
I'll put a deposit on. I'll take an investment share.
100%.
Alrighty. So next, Sony. This is big news from Sony and Spider-Man. This has developed again.
Yeah, it's been a lot of developments for this. No one really knows if it's true though.
But this is a lot of speculation. Again, this is like a lot has gone out about this topic and nothing has ever been confirmed about this. We've just heard this talk through leaks.
Yeah.
And insider talks. But apparently, Sony has offered Disney Spider-Man back, but Disney would seemingly make 30% of profits. Disney countered and wanted Venom to be added to the deal. Now, so that happened, and that's all we heard about that, is that Disney counter-offered and wanted Venom a part of the deal. Now, a new update has come out that Spider-Man deal is on hold due to Apple possibly buying Sony. And if any other company, and like we should add this in, if any other company does purchase Sony, then Spider-Man's rights and presumably everybody else that Sony owns,
I think so, yeah,
automatically revert back to Marvel. So, Apple buying Sony, what do you think of this? Because I have a lot to say on this.
In all honesty, I think it makes sense for Apple.
Same. But what's your reasoning? Because mine might be different to yours.
Apple Plus. That's my reasoning.
What was Apple?
My reasoning is Apple Plus, because they bring in their streaming service.
Yeah.
So my reasoning is that if they buy Sony, they have the rights that they now own Sony, so they can do all that shit that they want to do. Mm-hmm. They'll automatically take out a competitor with phones. Yep, obviously, Sony, they're not doing so well, but they'll automatically take out a competitor with phones. They'll own PlayStation, which comes out.
That was my one.
And they'll
Sony
also
Pictures Animation.
Exactly. So they'll have all the rights to all those movies that they can then put on to Apple Plus.
Yeah.
Because it's at the moment it's only $5 a month US for when it comes out. The titles are all originals. I don't know if they have like rights to Universal movies or stuff like that. Yeah. But it's not like it's. I don't think anyone's really gonna buy Apple Plus.
No,
it's something that it's like, you know, like if it's there, sure, but no one's really gonna buy it. So I think if they did, I think it's smart for them to buy Sony and have all of that. What do you think?
This is my thing. It's more for me about the Apple Games Arcade, and let me explain. I'll explain before I get into this a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Apple, let's looking at Sony. Their only big thing is PlayStation. Besides, if you take out the Spider-Man rights, the only what's the word? Nice thing. The only enticing thing about them is PlayStation.
That's fair.
PlayStation or Sony PlayStation owns Insomniac Games, Naughty Dog, a couple other companies, a couple big studios that they have.
Yeah.
Santa Monica. There's a few studios that they have. They have this Apple Arcade. They have these studios with them as well. They can seemingly incorporate Apple into Sony PlayStation with a snap of a finger of that purchase.
Mm-hmm.
That boosts the Apple Arcade. The things that you could do in cooperation with Apple and PlayStation, don't get me started. But I think we're getting a bit off topic here, but
no, not at all. This is all part of it.
Apple buying Sony would be a great move for them, especially with the way that they can do, where Sony can animate, and with the PlayStation things that they can do with PlayStation, especially, and the Apple Games Arcade. It just makes perfect sense, like you said.
I'm with you
because if they can develop games for the Apple Games Arcade with the assets they have over at PlayStation, the big win for them.
Yep.
They can get profits off of PlayStation 5, which is meant to be the most amazing console ever.
Yep.
Profits for them.
Yeah.
They get Sony Pictures Animation and get some great exclusive animations on Apple Plus. Big win for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why they shouldn't do this, to me.
I do agree with you. I honestly don't see any downside to this.
I do. Sony losing money.
Sony?
Sorta. They're besides the PlayStation, they're not really doing too much.
Okay, that's true. But if you've got a genius company like Apple who are known for their innovations,
yes, you're right.
They're only going to lift them up, and I don't think they'll do amazingly the first year. Like obviously you've got
long-term plan.
You've got the PS5 coming out next year.
Yeah.
So you've got that to look forward to in the short run.
Mm-hmm.
I think, as you just said, they'll have a plan in place. So I don't think it's the worst thing for Apple to do at all. And I mean, ultimately, it does benefit everybody else. We get Spider-Man back.
If Apple buys Sony and bring the rights back to Marvel for everything, I will go next week and buy an iPhone 11. I said it right here on the podcast.
Okay.
I will buy an iPhone 11.
Okay.
I'm just putting it out there.
I'm happy to hear that.
Apple, the ball's in your court here.
You will gain profit from one person if you choose to do this.
Well,
decision.
Brian today, we have a Brian update for you as well. Okay, this is the story that I got.
Okay, yeah.
So he bought a Dell pen. So he has a Dell XPS 15 laptop, and he bought a pen so he could write digital notes at uni. He bought the pen, but didn't research the fact that it was compatible. So the pen wasn't actually compatible with his laptop. And so he returned it, and he thought that digital note taking was good, so he went and bought an iPad Pro.
Yeah. Well,
today.
Look, so I've been talking to him for like a few weeks because I really want the new iPad Pro.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I really want it. I want to start getting back into drawing and stuff. And I was like, I've seen Procreate being used, so I really want to buy that. And I'll get rid of my MacBook for it, and I'll get that. But I just haven't for the time being.
Yeah.
And then then the last week he's been like, I kind of want an iPad. I want an iPad too. But his thing was like he doesn't want to pay all the extra money for the Pro. He'll just get one of the cheaper ones.
Mm.
So he messaged me today. And he's like, I'm at Officeworks about to buy an iPad, and I was like, you are ridiculous, dude. He goes in he was going to buy the cheaper one. He goes to buy the cheaper one, then he messages me and he goes, I just walked out with the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, and I was like, you are just ridiculous, my friend.
So that's how Brian's doing.
Yeah.
Anybody's asked.
Yeah. Keep in mind as well, he also said that he was going to wait till the end of the university trimester
to buy.
He was going to wait to get the Nintendo Switch for Christmas, and then he just goes. And then he said to me yet last night, I might just get the iPad Pro instead of the Switch for Christmas because I'm not going to have a lot of time to play it. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. The next day he goes out and buys the iPad.
Unbelievable.
That man.
Unbelievable. So that's Brian. For anybody wondering, that's how he's doing. So not very well. His mental state is... See, normal Brian wouldn't do this. University stress.
I'm
Brian
so surprised he did this. Yeah.
No.
He's not one for impulse decisions. That's usually my wheelhouse, but and
same.
your wheelhouse, actually.
No, okay, I did it once, all right? We're not talking about that. But anyway, back to conversation.
Yeah.
If this turns out to be true, Disney...
All in all, I think good decision.
It's a good decision for Apple, and Marvel and Disney win, and Sony just fucking deals with it because they got no choice. But I hope, you know what, for more reasons than one, I would like to see Apple buying Sony.
Yeah. And
we hope it happens. But if any developments happen on that, check the socials, check the podcast. We'll have updates on it. We're studying this shit with we're right on this shit. We are. We're really excited for this.
Yeah.
As a whole as well, it's just interesting from a business point of view as well.
It definitely is.
How Sony have tried to stand up to Disney, and they're not. It's not really it's working. If Apple buys Sony, it didn't work.
Yeah, it was all for nothing really.
Yeah, because they're just gonna get bought in anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And Disney would just get what they want.
Exactly.
And it's just crazy how that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that. Should we move on?
Yeah,
I think we've had enough of a conversation about that. So next is about the Loki series. So Loki series will answer questions of whether Loki really did die in Infinity War, as well as what he is doing with the Tesseract he stole in the alternate 2012 timeline during Endgame, says Tom Hiddleston. Another development on this, another thing on this I want to say as well, is that Chris Hemsworth actually punched Tom Hiddleston in... I forgot which movie it was. He's punched him in a few movies. Yeah, but he actually punched him. It was actually Tom's idea to be punched by Chris Hemsworth. And to be fair, I would take a roundhouse kick from Chris Hemsworth just to shake his hand.
I would too.
Fair enough, Tom. But yeah, so this actually excites me a little bit. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it excites me for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of bored of I'm not bored of the Loki character. We just had him around for a while, so I'm not overly excited to see his series. But as I've said multiple times, I will be watching the series, of course.
I want to say I hope he did die in Infinity War.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I hope he what I want from this is I hope he died in Infinity War. He then takes the Tesseract and goes back to Jotunheim.
Yep.
And he takes over them,
and
then in the alternate 2012 timeline, he goes and attacks Asgard or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think he'll attack Asgard. What stone do they have there as well? They have another stone there, don't they? So he'll have his scepter with he'll have the Tesseract with the Mind Stone, and then do they have the Power Stone? No, Power Stone's in Xandor.
No, they have the one stone on.
Then they have the one stone. Yeah, well they'll have the gauntlet there, the fake one or whatever. But I think I'm with you. I think he'll go and invade Asgard and then take over all the 9 realms once he takes over Asgard.
Yeah,
because I think he'll win that battle.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But
because Thor will be off world during the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Thor will get alerted and shit, but I don't think he'll be there.
He won't be there.
I think Valkyrie might show up then. No, she's ashamed, isn't she? She's
left
gone
already.
away.
She's already pissed off.
That's right.
But that's what I want from that. But I'm interested to see what this show will bring in terms of how they're going to address all the alternate timeline things. Because if they do this and in the other dimension, Loki takes over the 9 realms and he's fucking almighty champ or ruler, where do they go from there? What does it leave? Especially Thor: Love and Thunder, because apparently Loki's going to be in that.
It's a whole mess of timelines at the moment.
He's going to be in that, and what happens in this show affects that. So this is why, if that the 9 realms things happens, where do we go from there in Thor: Love and Thunder? It's so confusing and it's so much.
It really
and I'm just
is.
what the I'm what can you do in this show that will make sense to affect that movie coming out in 2021?
Dude, I don't know where to go. I don't know. This is Marvel. Oh my god, I reckon they've got some sneaky stuff going on back there.
They did. You know what? They've always had sneaky stuff going on, up their sleeve. Let's face it.
They have. I'm with you. I don't know where. I don't know. I have no
idea
thoughts at all.
No leads. I got no nothing.
I've got no nothing.
Yeah, low key got nothing.
I've low key got nothing.
But yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know. Like, I can't even begin to guess.
Nah,
because I don't know where it's gonna go.
Neither. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Hopefully,
we'll see in a couple of years.
Fingers are crossed that we figure it out.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So DC time. So pictures have been leaked from filming on the set of Titan season 2, with Nightwing's costume unveiled, obviously worn by Dick Grayson, and it looks good.
It looks very good.
Now, Titan season 2 is a show that we
somehow, for some reason, don't have.
Yeah. So it premiered September 6th on DC Universe, which is like DC's like streaming service that nobody outside the US has. So it's a show that only the people in the USA can watch, and nobody else in the world can watch it until Netflix posts it, and they have, I think it's like 6 months after the show premieres that we can watch it. So our two options is wait or get a VPN, and I'm not skilled enough with my IT to have a VPN, so I'm waiting 6 months for the show. But it looks really good, and I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, so it's currently got 3 episodes out, with the 4th one coming out in 4 days.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. But, oh, man, I just want to be able to access it in Australia because I love it. It's so good. It was so good. And season 2 just looks like it's getting better and better. And as you said, like we saw the Nightwing costume. It's, in my opinion, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I want to see. I don't know if you remember the Batman Arkham Knight Nightwing costume.
I think so.
I hated that costume.
I think if
it's
the one
really weird. It's got like, it comes up on his neck and then it goes around like the side where his sideburns would be, and then connects to his mask.
Oh no!
It looks horrible.
Not a fan of that.
It looks really bad, but this one looks really good. I love everything about it. I don't think it's any surprise that Nightwing's going to be there. It seemed like a natural progression once he met.
Yeah, that's what they teased. They teased like Dick Grayson like breaking off from his character as Robin to being his own person. So Nightwing just seems like the next logical move. So
100%, yeah.
I'm happy with that. But yeah, that's all our DC news. There's nothing else.
No, there's nothing else.
There's literally nothing else.
It was a bit of a quiet week. Oh, well, they did drop the Birds of Prey poster. We posted that on our Instagram at TRSM Podcast. But the design is just Harley Quinn's head with all the other main characters being depicted as birds. Basically, it looks cool. I like it. I like the tone of it.
Yeah. I'm just kind of getting the movie. It's like fucking the Joker movie, except it's Harley Quinn, just about a psychopath.
Yeah, to be honest, though, I'm very excited.
Except she's already a psychopath at the start of the movie.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm very excited.
So am I. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
February next year.
Yeah. Next year. So, in other movie or TV show news, Disney Plus. That's all we really have.
Oh yeah.
So pre-orders for Disney Plus are now available in the US. That's exciting. Apparently they're doing a testing in the Netherlands. I think this is what you told me.
Yeah, they are.
And so a list from Disney Plus has been like unveiled or leaked or whatever you want to call it.
It's a big list.
It's a very big list, and I think you have some of the shows that were on it.
Yeah. So like just to do like a quick recap. So some of the movies they've got pretty much all the Disney animated classics, all Marvel films, obviously, the whole Disney and Pixar collaborations, all the live action remakes, all the cartoon Disney movies, the Pirates of the Caribbean series, the Star Wars series, pretty much everything that you can think of from Disney, they've got. That's good. And then in terms of TV shows, they've got like this. You remember that show Saturday Disney, on the mornings on a Saturday morning?
No.
Oh well, they had like all the Disney cartoon shows. So like they had the Lilo and Stitch TV series. There was a whole bunch of that. They've got all those titles. Interestingly enough, they've got these things called Guardians of the Galaxy shorts.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's a new thing.
Maybe.
Or it's an anime thing. I'm not sure. They've also got Spider-Man shorts.
Yes.
The whole Mickey Mouse stuff and The Simpsons.
They got The Simpsons.
The Simpsons is official. I'm presuming that Australia still gets the same thing the US gets because it's all owned by Disney. It's not like it's owned by different people from different countries.
Look, if The Simpsons are on Disney Plus,
The Simpsons are on Disney Plus.
I am in trouble.
I've been watching it. I've been watching it currently.
I'm in big trouble.
I love The Simpsons.
You know what? I'm so glad that I'm done with uni when the time this comes out. There'll be COD coming out. There'll be Disney Plus. There'll be Star Wars is coming out in December. I'm rubbing my hands together. It's going to be a good summer.
Things are looking good.
Things are looking up in my life because I'm getting Disney Plus.
Disney Plus is going to be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I know.
Like I genuinely
best thing since sliced bread.
I might have to invest in Disney.
I'll chuck some stocks in.
Yeah, I mean you were talking about that actually before.
I was talking about investing. Yeah. Disney are taking my
Disney
shares.
might be the way to go. I mean, I know they wouldn't go up by much, but
I think the release day. No, they probably will go down the release day. Let's face it.
Yeah.
The stock market. That's a conversation for another time. But yeah, that's really exciting. The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Very happy.
I'm just glad they've got the rights to it. To be honest.
No. Well, they do. They own it.
Yeah. Exactly.
What if Disney buys Sony? And then all the Sony pictures, animations go on there too. Oh, okay. I can't. I'm getting too excited.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
I can't do that.
Not now.
I can't. No. All right. So anyway, speaking of Sony, we have one piece of gaming news this week, which is actually very, very exciting. So about 2-3 times a year, maybe 4, Sony does this thing called State of Play, which is like a 20-30 minute live stream where they show off like their new games that are coming out, what's going on in Sony's world, and everything that's going like that. And the next one is actually September 25th, so the day that this podcast is coming out, where they're going to be showing up The Last of Us 2 and some gameplay that, and give us some more info and hopefully a release date. We saw a leak on the internet, obviously, that stated that the release date is going to be 28th of February 2020. This will be unveiled, obviously, within 24 hours of this podcast going live. Mm-hmm. But you get the inside scoop here that the potential release date for The Last of Us 2 will be the 28th of February 2020.
Exciting news.
Very exciting.
It's good, very good game. Extremely good game.
Yeah. And
can't speak highly enough of the game.
Oh, the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've seen gameplay in the past, but they've been kind of silent for like a year.
Been very under wraps, hasn't it?
It's been very quiet for the past year. And the release dates keep getting pushed back, which is not... I'm not saying it's concerning, but Naughty Dog always take very good care with their games.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they're excited for it. And I'm sure they are excited for it. I'm sure they're being very careful with it and very just, calm.
I think it's in good hands.
Yeah, I think it's in good hands. And I think that once we show off this, we'll definitely be talking about next week. Oh,
no doubt.
About what we see. But it's going to be very, very exciting and very interesting to see what they're going to show off. Because they've shown off gameplay in the past.
Yeah, and they showed off that teaser trailer as well.
Yeah, they showed off the teaser trailer came out today as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, where do they go from here? They're just going to show more gameplay, maybe talk about story a bit more. I'm hoping they give us a release date. I think that's the main thing that people are wanting is a release date. I think so too. Maybe multiplayer confirming.
Well, you'd think it'd be a release date because I couldn't see this game coming out. I don't know how to word it. More than a year from now.
Yeah, no, it has to be within the next
I would
year.
imagine it'd be before September next year.
I'm hoping before like March next year. Like honestly, even by the end of March, if it's not out, it'll be disappointing.
Yeah,
because
I'm with you.
It's been too long, but it might be multiplayer confirmation. Because sad news today is that the PS3 servers for The Last of Us and Uncharted games have been shut off, and so maybe it means multiplayer for The Last of Us 2. And I hope so because the multiplayer in The Last of Us 2 is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was actually like really really good. You should actually look up some gameplay of that. It's actually like if they have it in the second one, it's actually really good. So that's going to be exciting. But now. The moment you've been waiting for.
Yes.
The ranking of the Infinity Saga. So, the Infinity Saga was phases 1 to 3 of the I was about to say the Modern Warfare. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, 23 films, and classifying as the Infinity Saga, which is the whole Thanos story.
Including Far From Home as well.
Including Far From Home. So, starting at number 23, the worst movie, Far From Home. I'm kidding.
Please don't hate.
No, would you like to start or would you like me to start?
I'll start.
Go.
I think this is a no-brainer for everybody. The Incredible Hulk.
Number 23, The Incredible Hulk. So
no surprises.
No surprises there. It's just a bad movie.
It's a bad movie. It doesn't have Mark Ruffalo as well.
Mark Ruffalo's not there.
It's just straight up just a bad. I don't know what else to say. It's just a bad movie.
Yeah, they shouldn't be a part of the MCU. It's practically not.
No.
Anyway, number 22, Thor: The Dark World. Now, this was just a disappointing movie all around.
I would like to say, though, straight off the bat, I think, in all honesty, and this has no bias towards Marvel, I think that apart from The Incredible Hulk, all these movies aren't that bad.
Yes, I want to agree with you. I want to put this out there. I like all these movies. I like Thor: The Dark World. Don't get me wrong. But in comparison to the
everything else they've delivered,
yeah,
it's not.
Like, as a standalone film, if it was like a normal movie, it'd be like, yeah, it's a good movie. It's a decent movie. And like all these movies by The Incredible Hulk are very good movies. But compared to what number 1 and 2, maybe top 10, it's lesser. It's a lesser of a movie to me.
Yeah, it's the villain's not very good at all. They're not memorable. This was in the period of time when Marvel were struggling with keeping their villains around. They just had the villain for the one movie and they were gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't the best, but it's still not that bad.
Yeah, it's still not that bad, but yeah. Should we put 20 and 21 together? Like,
yeah, all right. So we got for 21 and 20, we have Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3.
Yeah. The Iron Man movies, I love the first one, but the second and third, again, I think it's more what you're saying, that the villains are just kind of forgettable. It's just in and out one movie. Like, I know one was Mickey Rourke, and then number 3 was him suffering PTSD from the first Avengers. And I felt like number 3, Iron Man 3, was more of a filler movie. Kind of like, I guess, not Thor the Dark World. I don't know. I'm trying to think of another filler movie. Like, a post, like, big movie is kind of like the...
I don't know, man. Like, in all honesty, I didn't mind 3.
I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying it was more of a filler movie where it didn't really...
Yeah, it didn't do much for the universe.
No.
It was the anticlimactic reveal that Trevor Slattery was the Mandarin and it wasn't the actual Mandarin.
Yeah.
And it was Aldrich Killian, who was a very weird villain.
Yeah.
But yeah, the PTSD element I did like. I liked it too, yeah. The mental kind of thing with it. It just... Yeah, I'm with you. It didn't feel like it was leading anywhere. It just felt like it did feel like it was a bit of a filler movie. Same with 2, I think a little bit. 2 was
the Mickey Rourke one.
Yeah, and the one with Justin Hammer as well. The villain. Yeah. It was 2. Yeah, it's...
Iron Man 2 is like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Electro. It's like the same thing, but just Marvel.
Whiplash was not a compelling villain. I feel like his motives for wanting to kill Tony weren't that strong. Justin Hammer's motives I liked.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed very reasonable, but yeah, it wasn't anything special.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. At number 19, we have Thor. The first one, 2011.
This didn't blow my mind at all.
No.
When I watched it, I felt it was just a very plain movie setting things up.
It was a good movie, but it was just kind of like, yeah, he's Thor.
Yeah.
He's got powers.
It did show a bit of the elements of how funny Chris Hemsworth can be, though.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad they definitely tapped into in number 3.
Yeah, I really like Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I just want to put that out there. I liked Thor, like I liked Chris Hemsworth in this movie the most, but looking at the rest of the movie, I just kind of felt like I feel like Thor and the whole Asgard thing is something that it's hard. You have to like spend a lot of time setting it all up. So I felt like this movie was spending a lot of time setting it up, and
understandably as well.
Me as like a comic, me and you as a comic book and like the movie nerds, we enjoy this. But sometimes, like with like compare this to Ragnarok,
tedious.
A bit tedious, and compare this to Ragnarok, where everything's set up. It was much easier to make a great movie because you don't need to do anything.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's just about circumstances for a couple of these movies.
And I think like a lot of these movies that are we talking about, that like a higher or like lower on the list, I guess you could say, are very like they're setting up a lot of things, and that's not the movie's fault. It's just like the MCU is kind of very directed at a wider audience than comic books, and so a lot of this needs to be set up.
Of course. So
that's probably where that stands.
Yeah. Probably just the last couple things to say on it. I'm glad that the story was he was banished to Earth. I thought that was good. I'm glad they didn't save that for like a later film where it was kind of like, well, Thor had a bit of development. Surely he'd be smart enough to be like, okay, well, I need to be this person to have it back. So I'm glad it was the first one because it did show how stupid and brash he was as a hero.
I liked it too.
I thought it was good. So moving on to number 18, we have Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Now,
not a bad movie by any stretch.
Yeah, I think this might be a bit of a the first controversial call we've had.
Probably. I think to a lot of people it probably is a bit low.
Yeah.
But
I didn't like Ultron as a villain, but it was just kind of like
it was a tad underwhelming.
Yes.
I remember watching it for the first time and I loved it.
Yeah.
And then as I've gotten older, I've kind of been like, okay, it was awesome, and I really did enjoy it, but you can't have it the Age of Ultron and have him in it for one movie.
Yeah, no.
And you can't have... I mean, I know a lot about Ultron from his comics. I think it would have been worth having a 1 to 2 movie thing for
so
Ultron, to be honest.
Maybe a 2 movie. Because you
Yes.
2 to 3 movie.
A 2 to 3 movie. Like a full, like a post-apocalyptic world. Kind of like how they did the time jump in Endgame of Ultron.
Maybe like Iron Man 3 into...
Yeah.
Or like make a second Incredible Hulk movie with Mark Ruffalo and have him create Ultron with Tony and then have that go wrong and then Age of Ultron.
Exactly.
They get it.
Like I think it would have been better off doing that. I like the introduction of Vision. I like the introduction of both the twins. I thought it was cool introductions.
But yeah, at the same time, it was just kind of like, not rushed, I guess would be the word, but it's just kind of like, I felt no hatred towards Ultron because he was just kind of there and out.
Yeah, I think the worst part is that he was such a formidable villain to have him gone in one movie. Felt like
Yeah.
And again, it's just hard to put a film like that above everything else, I think, in this list.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Yep, number 17, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, I quite like this movie, but I kind of felt like it was not a filler movie. Filler movie is the wrong word. But it was a filler movie, but just a good one.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It felt like... I mean, it kind of was, because it was post-Infinity War.
Yep.
And it was like...
Well, no, it was at the time of Infinity War, because remember the post-credit scene was the snap.
Oh, sorry. I meant post-Infinity War as in it came out in July that year.
Yeah.
But yes, the movie did go on at the same time. So
it came out after Infinity War, but the appearance
it's set in the same time. Yeah.
Yes.
So for that reason, it kind of felt to me like, it did feel like it was like, okay, this is what you've got in between now and Endgame.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a bad thing. And I did enjoy the movie. But yeah, it just, I think it kind of lacked that, wow, this is it. You know what I mean? Love Paul Rudd. Love seeing him. I do enjoy Wasp. I liked her suit. I liked her introduction. I like the dynamic of Hank in it. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
it is a good movie.
But I feel like it's a bit of a filler.
A little bit. I think it does. I think it does suffer from that a little bit.
Yeah. And now, before we go to number 16, I want to say all these movies from here on out, we really like these movies. So this was a bit of a hard one to like rank the rest of them.
Yeah.
But
it was quite tough. I think a lot of these you can interchange
a little bit,
Yeah.
But we're going to try and have our reasons.
We are, yes.
So you go number 16.
Okay, so number 16 we have Captain Marvel. Again, I think it copped a lot of shit.
It did cop a lot of unnecessary shit, that's for sure.
I really liked it. I remember coming out of it and I really, really enjoyed it.
I was genuinely surprised when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow, this is actually a really decent movie.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, it was a bit more of a unique movie than other MCU ones because it was more of it was the first 90s film, and I don't know, they kind of really embraced that, and they kind of showed more. It was, when I compare it to like Thor, we'll go back to Thor because we ranked that lower.
Mm-hmm.
And the development of Thor, it was kind of like Thor was kind of made useless and then realized what he was.
Yes.
Whereas this was kind of like it was
an origin.
It was an origin, but it was like, I don't know how to word this. It was an origin rather than like a character introduction, I guess.
Yeah. I can say that. I think for me it definitely helped, I think, having Nick Fury in the movie. What was the post-credit scenes for this one? The fact that what? Wasn't
the eye, the cat in the eye?
Oh yeah, and it was him eating the Tesseract.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. I thought it was very good right before Endgame.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like this was a filler movie at all.
No, it definitely wasn't.
It was good to see that, again, this was set in the 90s. I thought it was a good piece, and it was a good prequel that I thought it was good to set it in that time rather than anywhere else.
I preferred it before Endgame because it kind of set up Captain Marvel for Endgame. Yeah. Because if that came out like a couple of years earlier, and then she never came out again to Endgame, I'd be like, what's the big deal about her and how good she is? Because like, remember when she comes and saves the day? Yeah. Saves the day, quotation marks, in Endgame.
I felt like they could have made it a very, very cheesy with the whole her mentor, being the villain, but they didn't. So I think this got a lot of undeserved hate. I thought it was a very good movie.
Yeah. All right. Number 15, Black Panther. Now,
I think this is probably the real big controversial one.
This is very controversial. Probably, I don't know, this one could have been moved down a couple spots, but to me, this movie, the word overhyped was, I don't know if it's the right word.
Probably not overhyped. Probably just
well,
for what it stood for. I think it was just that everyone was like, it is a just. I just want to preface this with it is a very good movie. I do really like it, but I think it just took. I think for what it stood for, I think that kind of made people see it as a much better movie than what it actually is.
In perspective, this is the third highest grossing Marvel movie. Behind
it is not the third best movie.
It's not the third best
Evident
movie.
Evident is why we put it at number 15.
It's like, I really like the movie and I love Wakanda. Like, I love the whole concept of Wakanda in the movie.
Yes.
And just in general.
Yep.
But to me, it just like, it got so much hype and just so like, it was just like a phenomenon worldwide. And like, I really liked the movie and I'm like, this is not the third best Marvel movie to me. And I don't know if that's why we've ranked it lower, is because like, it was just too overhyped for us.
Well, for me, I know that, I remember, I felt the same thing watching Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was such a big movie because it was the first solo woman-led movie. Yep. And again, very good movie. But I felt like again that suffers the same thing as Black Panther. I think it's a lot of people are blinded by what it stands for, that they think it's so much better of a movie. And again, Black Panther, I honestly think you can move it up easily to probably number 10. But I don't think it's top 5 Marvel. It's a very, very good movie, very good villain, good hero, good story. But to be honest, I personally just enjoy a lot of these other movies. It also comes down to just me enjoying a lot of the other movies rather than this one. Yeah,
true. So, number 14.
Number 14, we got Captain America: The First Avenger.
Captain America's movies, I just really like them all. I don't know if it is just him as a character.
I think for me, it's him as a character for sure. Yeah. It's what he stands for. Easily.
He's just a nice guy all around.
He really is.
And to be honest, I don't know if out of all these like superheroes, Captain America is probably not the one I kind of relate to the most, but it's like, you know, if I go to the gym a lot and I become very buff, I won't have his super strength, but I can somewhat look like him. So, I think it's not my point.
For me, I think Endgame, his whole turnaround of his story in Endgame, to me, I think made me think this was, for me, it just made me be like, yeah, shit. It is a very great movie. Like, it summed up the whole Captain America story in Endgame, and I think that's probably why we have this at 14 above Black Panther. For me personally, at least. Just a very solid movie, I think.
And I think,
the Red Skull is still in the he doesn't just die. He's in the universe, and he comes back later.
And I think we just appreciate this because it was such an early on movie, and it was so good compared to the others.
Yeah,
like looking at these, like a lot of our movies that are higher on the list came out earlier than the newer ones.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think we can just appreciate how good it was for the time as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with the CGI and.
I mean, a 2011 movie where comic book characters aren't. I mean, you've got Iron Man before that, which did well, but nothing real, nothing. You got the Spider-Man stuff, but you know what I mean. It's nothing groundbreaking to have this, and I think it's a very good movie. Yeah,
and it's a different superhero compared to Spider-Man and Iron Man. It's the first quote unquote human. Just with super strength and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Has a lot of heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So number 13, we've got just Ant-Man, number 1.
Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man. Now, this was also controversial.
Yeah, I think so.
But I feel like this is an underrated movie. I really think this is an underrated movie.
I do too.
Ant-Man as a character is kind of forgotten.
It was the first kind of different genre movie. It was a heist. Yeah. So it had that going for it. It was just different. It wasn't
like an anti-hero without being an anti-hero.
Yeah, it wasn't like any. I mean, before it, you've got obviously Captain America, which is just a basic origin story, same as Thor, same as Iron Man and stuff. But you've got Iron Man 2 and 3 before that, and the Avengers before that, and they're all obviously big missions doing the normal thing. This was a heist movie. Yeah, and it was different, and it was good.
Different, and that's what I think they're trying to do with the Black Widow movie. It's different. Yeah, and that's what I love about the MCU is just how they just do things differently every time and they make it work.
Sorry, you go.
That's right. I was just going to talk about Ant-Man. So,
the one knock I do have against it is, and to be honest, now looking back at it again, I probably could slide Black Panther above it. Is while the Yellow Jacket is good looking. Like it's a very. I like the suit of Yellow Jacket. He's probably not the greatest villain.
Yeah.
He suffers from the one movie thing, and it's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
It's his intention. What's not his intentions? His intention for hating Hank and Ant-Man. Fair enough, but he wasn't overly compelling. I didn't think.
Yeah. For me, I don't like this movie for the villain.
Yeah, I don't either.
I like this movie for everything else. Like the whole crew, like Luis and the other
ones,
the Baba Yaga guy
and T.I.
and T.I. Like I love them.
Yeah,
and I love Scott's story about how he was a criminal and came to be. Like I loved his development, like his training and how he that part of the movie. If you literally just made like a better villain, this would be like my top 5.
Yeah, I agree.
But like it was just a great. I don't know, I just loved this movie and it was literally a comedy heist movie.
Yeah.
It's what Ocean 8's wish it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, not to take a dig.
All right, so number 12?
Number 12, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, the Guardians films are fantastic.
Yeah.
All around.
Yep, no doubt.
But Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I quite liked. I don't know, I just really liked the movie. I don't really know what we can say about this one, but
it was very enjoyable. Like, you've got a lot more planets. I think this was the only other movie besides Guardians that really kind of explored space.
Yeah.
Like it really does explore. It really does.
And that's, another one that's just different.
I like the introduction of, what's his name?
Igor?
No, Ego.
Ego?
Ego's the villain. Yeah.
Yep, sorry.
I like Ego as the villain. I liked it having Guardians 1 as a story about his mum, and then Guardians 2 being a story about his dad.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about it that way.
So I like that. I like I like the development of the characters. I love Rocket. I think he's hilarious. Groot's obviously very good. Baby Groot. The only thing I didn't like, and I definitely remember this watching the movie, is the fact that the end battle is Peter Quill becomes Pac-Man. I just thought it was a bit too stupid. That's all.
Yeah, fair.
That's my only complaint. But good movie. Very, very good movie. James Gunn knows what he's doing with his characters.
Yeah. I think the Pac-Man thing was just because he's like a child.
Yeah, I know. I remember. Yeah,
it would have been funny if he became like the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Yeah, I was furious when I first watched it, and then I think like a little bit after I was like, oh no, but he is really just a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm less off it, but I'm still kind of like, eh.
You could have done a better 80s reference. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think so. But Yondu's very good in it as well.
I love Yondu, and that last scene made me cry. But anyway, number 11,
The Avengers.
The first Avengers one.
Yeah.
Now, this first Avengers is really good.
It's just really good.
Like,
it's really good.
For a team-up superhero movie that I don't know how much has been done before the movie. It was kind of like the first big one.
It's just the fact it's 2012. They've had Thor before it, Iron Man 2 before it, Iron Man 1 before it, The Incredible Hulk, and Captain America.
Yeah.
And they go, screw it, we're putting them all together and we're bringing the Avengers. Like, that's a ballsy move.
It's a very ballsy move at the time. And honestly, I loved it.
Great villain.
Yeah.
I love the whole movie.
Yeah.
I love how they get together and they're like, they fight and all this shit. There's that stuff with the helicarrier, how the Hulk gets out and kind of stuff. I love that. The whole thing is good. Like,
and
you've got...
Yeah.
Sorry.
You go. I'm not interrupting. Go.
And you've got Thanos. Like, Thanos, they set up Thanos. I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
It's just a lot of forward thinking. And honestly, it's just crazy to think that, like, it took 3 movies or 4 movies for them to do this.
Yeah.
And be like, fuck it, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And imagine how Edward Norton feels right now.
I know.
Did he quit or did he get fired?
I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Who cares?
But just on this as well. I know that me personally, if I compare Marvel to DC, I often go with DC. I think they rushed into Justice League, even though they had Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, and Wonder Woman, and a couple other movies before that. The difference was with the Avengers movie, and the ones before that, they really, really did flesh out the characters and develop the characters before bringing them in.
Not even that. Sorry.
No.
Man of Steel came out in 2012.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman came out in 2016, I think.
Batman v Superman 2015. 2015.
Like, it's too big of a difference for these movies for DC. They had a plan, but they didn't really know how to execute it. Yeah. If they waited a couple of years and brought out the movies closer together, I'd be okay with it. And I'd be like, this is much better. But they didn't do that. And that's what probably was their downfall.
Yeah. And
Whereas I'll finish this round in a second. Whereas like the MCU, 2012, within 4 years they brought out like 5 movies.
Yeah.
And they were able to set up this whole like thing.
And you've had Black Widow already featuring in Iron Man 2. You've had Hawkeye already featuring in Thor. Like the DC with the Justice League, no one had seen the Flash except for that small little bit in Suicide Squad. Hadn't seen Cyborg before. Hadn't seen Aquaman before, apart from those teaser thingos in Batman vs Superman. But that's not enough, too much of a rush. Anyway, moving on. But Avengers, very, very, very good movie.
Yes, top 10. Here we go. So number 10.
Coming in number 10, we've got Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Now, we love Spider-Man. We're just chucking this out right now.
We really do.
And Spider-Man: Homecoming was honestly just a really good movie to set up Spider-Man. I think, and again, what you just said, having him feature in Civil War and then having his movie come out just after, I think was a very smart move, because he was able to set up Spider-Man in a way that was able to show him off a little bit and not have to go in too much when his movie comes out, because they've already gotten a bit of his background information through Civil War. Overall, it's just a great movie, and it kind of sets up Far From Home and Infinity War as Peter being Tony Stark being Peter's mentor, and how he stuffs up a lot of shit. Yeah. And Tony's there to help him and really just teach him so he can learn from his mistakes. Yeah. The post-credit scene set up the Sinister Six. I think is that what it's called?
Yeah, it teased Scorpion.
Teases it all, but unfortunately that might not happen, but it might still. We'll see how we go. But long story short, this was just a really good movie. Yeah,
the only thing I'd add to that is I think having the Vulture and a different villain is a great idea. Yeah.
Yep, cool. Very good. Number 9. Iron Man, the original Iron Man 2008. Now, the only reason we've ranked this so high is, firstly, it was the first movie that started off, and it was a really good movie for 2008.
It really is, yeah.
11 years ago, they made this movie about, Robert Downey Jr. and everything he'd gone through before that, with the whole drugs and everything and getting arrested, and for him just to come out, smash the role, and just make an amazing movie for the time.
The suit looks great.
The suit looks great. The story's great. And it sets up the 10 rings, the Mandarin.
The villain is great. You've got Tony being away for so long in the cave, not knowing whether he's alive. And you've got Obadiah Stane running the company back home and really going behind Tony's back and doing things how he wants it. Tony comes back. He has an epiphany. He wants to change everything. It's a great villain. It's not...
Great revenge story.
It's not something that I think that's like, you're like, oh shit, this is going to be a big boss battle. But it's something it's like, just great. Like, it's just really compelling to see the
Very
two.
Good storytelling, yeah.
Because Tony, in some ways, does see him as a father figure. It's a great movie. It's really, really good for its time. It still stands up. I mean, it's only 11 years later, but it still stands up. It's a really good movie.
Definitely.
It's really good. Yeah.
All right, number 8.
Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
Yes. Now, this movie was phenomenal. I think, do you want to go first?
Yeah, can I go first?
There's only a couple of things I got to say about this.
Well, Brian, this was what kicked off Brian and I's friendship. We watched this not kicked off, but we went and watched this ourselves in year 8, and this was like we really started to bond as friends. This is a great movie. It is a great movie. Everything about it. For it to be so successful as well, when no one's heard of the Guardians before. I never heard of the Guardians before.
This was my point too, yeah.
No one's ever heard of them before, and look what James Gunn did with all the characters. Like, they're just... Everyone knows who they are now. Chris Pratt, great casting, looks awesome, is so funny in the movie. Dave Bautista is really good as Drax. Rocket and Groot are great in it. Same as Gamora. Like, it's just... And it was a great way to be like, this is kicking off the space part of the MCU.
Yeah, brought in a new perspective. And again, like, I never heard of the Guardians, and they really just did a great job on bringing, like, a band of misfits together. Again, like anti-heroes, like Ant-Man, I guess you could say. Yeah. But just a great movie, and it just made sense. Like, the whole storyline, everything. Yeah. I just loved it.
Even the dance battle at the end, I'm not even mad about, because it's funny. It fits it so well.
It was very good storytelling. James Gunn's phenomenal.
He's really good.
Yeah. All right. Number 6. Number 7. Number 7. I've given a spoiler. Number 7. Captain America: Civil War. Now, this is an Avengers movie without being an Avengers movie. Yes. Essentially.
I could probably put this to 6 if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And swap it with Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
but
so Doctor Strange is number 6.
Either way.
All right, we'll just quickly go over Civil War. Civil War, amazing movie. It just really shows. It's really just about how Captain America is just this nice guy and how he gives people chances in life even when they fuck up, and it really shows how the nice guy of Captain America, of Steve, and how Tony's a very play it safe. I've fucked up in the past and I'm not going to play. I'm going to play it safe from now on.
Yeah.
And it really shows how they, Steve still believes in being good even after everything that's happened.
Yeah,
and
because
try to screw him over.
Yeah, because obviously, like they're obviously great friends, and you see them wanting. Ultimately, they want the same thing. But it's true. You do really see the disparity in the fact that, like you said, Tony's wants to play it safe. He doesn't want things to go badly like they have before. And then Steve is just loyal to his friends and all those things.
And it ties into Ultron as well. And it ties into Ultron from the guy. What's his name? Zemo. Zemo, yeah, Zemo. And how that was the lasting effect of Ultron. And that whole Age of Ultron, but it wasn't enough for Ultron, as you said earlier.
Yeah, I think Zemo's very good in this.
I like Zemo, but I liked how the final battle was Tony versus.
Yeah, so Cap. Same here. Just one other quick thing, and I had it in my head, but I've lost it. Oh, I've watched this about 10 times.
Yes,
and I thoroughly enjoyed every single viewing. It's a great movie. The introduction of Black Panther and Spider-Man, it's just done really well. Yeah,
it's a very good movie.
To pull that off, man.
That was very good.
So good.
Yeah. All right, number 6, Doctor Strange. You know this already, but we chose Doctor Strange. We think this is a very underrated movie as well.
We're probably a bit biased. We rate this very highly.
First time I watched this is a little story. First time I watched this, I made it about halfway and I turned it off. I didn't like it. But this was before I got into the MCU and superhero movies as well. So it shows just how late I got into everything.
Yeah, it does.
But I honestly, it's just an amazing. The storytelling of this movie, especially, is it's just something unreal. It's different to Iron Man. It's similar character but different. Whereas Tony got kidnapped and adapted to a situation, but Strange lost everything
and doesn't want to. He just wants his old life back.
Yeah, that's all he wants, and he's forced to go and learn magic to adapt and deal with everything. Yeah,
it's I don't really know how to put it. It's just, like you said, the story of it is great, and I do think that having watched Endgame now, I have a much higher appreciation for Strange than I did before. It's just, I think it's a very, very good movie, and it sets up Ragnarok too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think magic as well. It was the first magic movie.
Yeah.
It's great all around.
The villain's okay. He's nothing special.
There's a bit of a cop out with the Dormammu,
Dormammu, yeah.
Warping time.
I liked at the end how they tease Mordo, so I really hope Mordo is a big part of the multiverse of madness. But look, this movie my number one movie that I'm excited for the next phase is Multiverse of Madness. So that's because of this movie. So I think I think we probably put it a lot higher than a lot of other people, but it's a very good movie and I think it's underrated.
Yeah. All right, number 5, Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
This is just a phenomenal movie. Yeah. As we said earlier, it really explores Hemsworth's ability to be comedic in a movie.
Yeah.
And also having Thor and Loki being on the same team against, their evil sister and trying to save Asgard, something that they've loved so much. It's just a great story all around. The writing, the acting, and the way that they were able to really show off Thor and Loki's abilities to be a great team after everything that's happened. I just loved it.
Yeah, I mean, after 2 failed, attempts at trying to find a director.
Yeah.
They finally found one. Waititi is amazing.
He's a great director. They've made the right choice.
The amount of Easter eggs in this film, the way it looks, everything they did with this. My first fear going to this was that they were going to be too stupid and too funny.
But they found a great balance.
When I went out of this, I loved it. Yeah, I think they found a great balance. And I just want to add on this. I think Thor Ragnarok is firmly at number 5 on this list, and the top 4, I think you could probably have any order.
Yeah, this one can change a bit of order, but number 4 is a bit controversial, but I'm going to back up my reasoning because I put this here, and then Jacob agreed.
Yes.
Number 4, Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
Now, Avengers Endgame is meant to be the greatest movie of all time, but the reason I put it at number 4 is because when I compare it to, like, you know, Infinity War, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Far From Home, because they're the other 3 options. When I compare them to these 3, mainly we'll compare it to Infinity War, because you don't know where it is on this top 3. Infinity War was just like, it's there already, and like, this is the final battle, and this is like what's gonna happen. And then when that ending happened, it was like, holy shit, like, this is the most amazing movie ever. But then when Endgame happened, it was kind of like, you're starting sour, and like, it was like 2 hours of like this journey of trying to fix everything, and then the final battle, which was the greatest scene of any movie I've ever seen. So I feel like if it wasn't for that final scene, I wouldn't have enjoyed the movie that much. But because the final scene set up, the rest of the movie set up the final scene, I really love the movie. And don't get me wrong, this is probably one of the top 5 movies I've ever seen in my life. These 4 movies right here. But what I'm trying to say is that the story of this, it was really a fan service storytelling, and then an amazing final battle for the ages.
Yeah, I think it definitely kind of into what you're saying. It definitely, don't get me wrong, incredible movie. Like, as you said, one of the all-time greats. But I do think it also, it obviously reaps the benefits of all 22 movies before it.
Yeah, exactly.
As you said, it's a bit of a fan service. And again, I'm not hating on it at all. I love this movie. I thought this was the perfect ending to the Infinity Saga, and I'm so glad they got it right. But I do think, it ultimately does just kind of benefit from all the other movies before it.
Yeah. And that's not like a necessarily bad thing, but I'm just
it's just a thing to note.
If it was a standalone movie, it wouldn't be appreciated as much. Like,
maybe
you know
not,
what I mean? Like, if it was like,
if
it was just Infinity War and Endgame, it just wouldn't be appreciated as much. All right, number 3.
Yeah, so we got Spider-Man Far From Home.
Now, this movie is just amazing. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I've only seen it once.
If you haven't heard our review, go check that out. I believe it is in, just quickly, it's near week 5. So it's pretty early during our podcasting days. But definitely check it out. It's a good one. It's probably, I think it's 40 minutes long. We have a good mate of ours, Sam Vancian. So definitely check that one out if you haven't listened to it already. But this movie is genuinely so good. It is so good.
Yeah, having the modern day tech as well, and the way that they're able to CGI and they've worked with it for so long. I think that the way they did this was like, it was kind of like not a restart on the whole MCU, but it was kind of like Peter Parker is the face, and this is like, they were showing that, and they were showing how. I just love the movie overall. Like, I just love the cast. I love the story. And it's just really showing, I think I can really relate to Peter as well. Like, he wants to be a normal kid, but he also wants to be more in Spider-Man and help people.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, I think that Tom Holland really just is able to, I guess, embody that character so well. I don't know what it is, but he's just able to show so much, like, how much he wants to be a normal kid and have his love life and try to, like, impress the girl on his, like, school trip. But then at the same time, he's got to try and balance being Spider-Man on top of that. Yeah. And it just kind of shows his vulnerability. And it's just something I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think Mysterio is a great villain in this movie. What they set up is amazing. Mm-hmm. The fact that it comes right after Endgame is, like, to be as good as it is, I think is a very good achievement.
I didn't mention Mysterio. Mysterio was fantastic as well.
Yeah. Very compelling. I can't say much more than I haven't already said in our review that we did a while ago. So please check that out, because it's
definitely worth checking out.
It is definitely worth checking out. But it's just such a good movie.
Definitely.
Do you want to move on to number 2?
Number 2, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know. This is just...
It's hard to kind of put your finger on exactly what it is.
It's just action-packed. The story is amazing. And it's kind of like Steve trying to adopt a normal life, but he just can't. And I love Bucky as the villain. He's just such a badass. And when, like, you know what it is? The soundtrack is amazing. The tension.
Everything building up to
Bucky's just him. Is just portrayed as this just like I was genuinely scared of him when I first saw this movie. Like, every time he came onto the screen, I'm like, fuck, like, he's going to annihilate everybody. And just having him be more powerful than Steve, sorry, that's the last thing I say, having being more powerful than Steve and having Steve have to adopt something else to stop him, it was just amazing.
Yeah, I think if you think about it, it really did set up the whole middle chunk of the Avengers. I mean, it sets up everything just before Infinity War. Because it sets up the downfall of the Avengers. It sets up Steve as a character and his transition.
Civil War.
Like, it's a phenomenal movie. It's also the first spy movie. It is a real spy movie. Like, you've got the covert. It starts from the get go. You've got the covert mission that Captain America is on the submarine, and then it kind of continues on where he and Nat have to stay off the grid, and with S.H.I.E.L.D. being overrun, trying to find out who this Winter Soldier is and take him down. So I think, as I said, the whole movie is a great movie. It really does help that you have Black Widow and Nick Fury in it, but it's a great movie. Yeah, good, compelling villain.
I liked Black Widow as well because I felt like her technological abilities as well, and her I like the fact that she was working for S.H.I.E.L.D. with Steve. Yeah, and just how. I don't know. I just really liked it.
Yeah, I'm glad she's getting her own solo movie finally.
Yeah, so just great movie. I might watch it tonight, to be honest. Yeah. And number one,
we got Avengers Infinity War.
Infinity War, that's the only movie we have left. But number one is Infinity War, and this movie, honestly, is amazing.
It's just an achievement. It's
an achievement. That's a good way to put it.
I remember watching Civil War, and I was honestly like, I don't know how you go up from that. Having all of that, and they did it. I don't think it suffers at all. The ending of it is great. You kind of get a bit of closure in the fact that what's happened. Yeah. From the snap, but you still am like, well, what's going on? And obviously, you still want to see it. The fact they get so many people in there. The Battle of Wakanda is amazing. I frequently watch, frequently watch the Thor landing in Wakanda.
I was about to say that is the best intro in any movie ever.
I get chills listening to that soundtrack time when he comes. I love that. Just everything going from everyone's mission with Tony and Star-Lord and Doctor Strange on Titan and that kind of fight, and that fight is amazing, by the way. Yeah. And that mission to seeing Spider-Man, blip away, to Thor and Rocket and Groot trying to get making Stormbreaker after he lost his hammer, which was also a really good part of the storyline as well. To everybody else on Earth, just the whole thing it's just such a good movie.
For me, this movie was I compared this to, I'm going to compare it to Endgame, but when we went to see this movie, we thought this was the end. You know what I mean? We thought, we knew that Avengers 4 was coming out the next year. Yeah. But we thought this was going to be, the end of Thanos. You know what I mean? We thought that Thanos was going to be stopped by everyone and happy days. That's what we suspected. Yep. And it comes out, and all these characters have been set up in previous movies and everything else. And they come out all together, cross paths, and try to stop Thanos. And Thanos is really going on his way. Mm-hmm. Then he comes out and kicks everybody's ass and wins. And when we were in the cinema, I don't know if I saw this with you on day one. I saw it day one.
I saw it day one too. I don't know who I saw it with.
I don't remember. Anyway, I remember that movie ending, and I just turned to my dad and I'm like, what the fuck? I was lost for words. Yeah. I didn't know what, it was just, and I was just pulled in and just, the whole time I was just pulled in and just this is amazing.
And they set that up from the beginning. Yeah, by killing Loki and killing what's his name, Heimdall.
Yeah, from the start. They showed that Thanos was just ready to fucking pounce.
Yeah, he knocks out Hulk straight away, and you're like, this is it. This is what they've done. Yeah. This is what they've set up. It's just great. It is such a great movie. All the sets, everything about it is such a great movie, and it's such a phenomenal achievement.
I think Infinity War for me was when he after that opening scene in Infinity War, it's this guy Thanos is he's here to fucking take him over, and it's possible that he can do it. Yeah. But these guys are possible to stop him. Whereas in Endgame, it's well, he's done it, and we it shows everybody's trauma.
It was a redemption.
It was a redemption.
And the Endgame was a redemption. The Infinity War was just, this is it. Yeah. This is really it.
And for me, it's top 2 movie of all time, I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, what else I say.
I've watched it quite a few times.
I'd prefer Endgame to be number 1 box office, but as a movie overall, I prefer Infinity War, and I want to watch it again tonight. Yeah. Maybe I'll just watch Infinity War
have to watch everything and
Winter Soldier. I'm not going to sleep tonight.
No.
Fuck it. But yeah, no, that is our comprehensive Infinity Saga list, and we'd love to hear what you guys would think about it, and what you guys think everything where things should be ranked.
Yeah, please tell us your thoughts, because as we said, we probably have a bit of biases here and there, but I think for the most part, it's not a bad list.
I think most people can somewhat agree within like a 2 to 3 spot radius.
Yeah, I think so too.
Besides the Incredible Hulk, that should be number 23 on everybody's list.
Yeah. But yeah, please tell us what you think.
Yeah, well, that's the end of the podcast today. It's a bit longer than we've been doing the previous weeks, but you know, when we do segments like this, it usually does take us a bit longer. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Before you go, if you've made it this far, we definitely appreciate it, and go check us out on our socials at TRSM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you like the segments, let us know. I know Jacob loves to do them, and I do too. It's something we enjoy, and we like to make something a bit unique about our podcast. Like, we do like to cover the news, but we also like to add in our own spins each week, and this is one of them. So if you want to see any particular segments, we do have a couple that we're planning, but if you have any others, let us know. Other than that, do you have anything to say before we go?
Nothing at all.
All right, well, this has been the Regular Size Man Podcast. My name's been Sam, and Jacob's name's been Jacob. Thank you for listening. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.